Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit Philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.tv.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
1819 News.
The Montgomery-based Foundation for Moral Law successfully secured the release of Willie Lee Connor, who was serving a life sentence for shoplifting a nail gun. Connor was initially convicted under Alabama's Habitual Offender Act due to previous theft-related felonies and was charged with first-degree robbery because he had a folding knife and mentioned having a gun, referring to the nail gun, that is. More Alabama news to come after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Shelby County investigators have discovered a new and more dangerous form of fentanyl during a recent drug bust. The new substance, found alongside heroin, meth, mushrooms, and fentanyl at a house near Helena, is reportedly more potent and risky than pure fentanyl. The Shelby County Drug Task Force, working with the DA's office, is intensifying efforts to prosecute those involved. Littleville is facing a significant staffing shortage in its police department after 2 of its 3 officers left for other jobs. The town, which typically operates with 3 to 4 officers, now is relying on the Colbert County Sheriff's Office for interim support. The town council is currently seeking candidates to fill the vacant positions and hopes to have a full team in place within a few weeks. I'm Tim Berg.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group and an update on the real estate market in the River region. Sales of homes for the last 5 months will top 1,900 homes. Even though sales are slightly lower, the average sales price is still climbing. First-home homebuyers comprise over 34% of all sales, with no slowdown in sight for them. We now have more homes on the market in all price ranges, which gives buyers more choices than they've had in over 2 years. Some helpful suggestions for today's homebuyer would be: 1. Work with a local lender for your loan approval. 2. List 3 must-haves for your new home and seek to find properties to match your needs. 3. Work with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent to help you with your search, your showings, and receive advice on offers and negotiations. 4. Always use a licensed recommended home inspector when you find the home you choose. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. And, well, I'm flying solo today here in the studio. Eddie taking the day off. I guess he deserves it. No, he does. And joining us, as is tradition to kick off Wednesdays, we have the one, the only Jeff Poor. He is the host of the Jeff Poor Show there in the Mobile Fairhope area, 106.5 FM, and also editor-in-chief at 1819 News. How you doing this afternoon, Jeff?
Good afternoon, Joey. I'm doing great.
Yeah, great to have you on. So are we just excited about heading into November? I almost am feeling a hangover from the last month of news, but where are you at these days?
I want to go back to 2020, and I can't believe this. Joe Biden, we had to get Trump out of office because Joe Biden was going to bring unity. He was going to get away from the chaos of the moment. We weren't going to have all of this like mean tweets and people upset that our commander-in-chief is the big bad orange guy. Just make it stop, bring in the adults, get the adults back in charge, and everything will settle down, and we can go back to living our life. And then this last month, at least in my lifetime, one of the most chaotic times in American politics, certainly in my lifetime, but probably going back much further than that.
Yeah, it really is chaotic. And so I don't want to forget about, of course, the assassination attempt. This many days now later, what's your sense of what happened here at that assassination attempt in Pennsylvania against Trump?
I mean, I'm still not on the bandwagon that it was some kind of inside job, but it's just government incompetence. You want to put all your stock into government making your life better, and in some ways, I guess government can be used as a tool for good, but ultimately, it's really up to you, the individual. I mean, I know there's some circumstances that have to be overcome with government help. I'm not denying any of that. But to sit around waiting for the government to make something better, to blame the government, it is a creation of man. It is fallible, and the lapse of competence at the Butler, Pennsylvania 2 weeks ago, I think just shows just why you should not have this blind faith in government to always do it right.
Oh, absolutely. And there aren't many answers right now, especially about the shooter's motivations, how he had all his access. It's still not a great explanation of why the massive catastrophic security failures. And it's just not adding up to me. And Director Wray is doing a little better than the Director of the Secret Service, Cheadle, did in front of the Congress, but not that much better. And it worries me that this will be like the Las Vegas shooting. It will be like the origins of COVID. Who blew up Nord Stream 2? It's one of these things where we never really quite get to the answer of what happened there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the answers won't be forthcoming because the government's always had that approach, right? They operate on a need-to-know basis, especially Joey probably has something to do with just a Republican Congress. The answer to Jim Jordan, who the hell does he think he is? There's sort of that going on there. But I think they want this to go away because it just, the more we talk about it, the less it helps the Democrat side.
Yeah, and I saw Jerry Nadler today. I'll play the clip later. I need, maybe not. I don't need to start dropping F-bombs on the air. But Nadler was doing, well, Trump brought this on himself because he talked about a bloodbath if Biden gets elected. I'm like, really? An economic bloodbath, right, Jerry? And so it seems like it only took a week or so for people to get back into regular political form, despite the seriousness of that assassination attempt. And now apparently Kamala Harris is the brand new shiny thing, cracking me up that, Axios tries to be the serious reporting outlet, said that she was never border czar after they previously reported she was border czar. What do you make of the whole Kamala thing, and especially this push by, say, media interests to make Kamala happen?
Trying to make it happen, it feels forced, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying she won't get a little bit of a honeymoon here, and she's entitled to that, I guess, because it is an improvement for Biden, and Democrats are going to respond in a way that's going to say, okay, yeah, I feel better about it now. But overall, she's been nothing but a letdown politically. The two things, and I know you and I talked about this earlier on my program, if she were that good, why did she win in 2020? Why isn't she president right now? That's number one. Number two, I think Joe Biden is historically weak as a president. Not really in front, the old leading from behind, they've had to protect him, they've had to shelter him, and that's created a vacuum, a void within an administration. It's not like Kamala Harris was moving in to fill that void at all. In fact, she took a back seat to a weak president, and never really sat herself up to be be like presidential or to be like the second coming. It just always seemed like she just was resigned to kind of mail it in. Didn't really take on the border like she could have. But not just that, but it's a lot of other things, and I think that's going to she missed an opportunity that might have helped her in this presidential bid. She just left it sitting on the table.
And do you think there's anything helped by who they picked to be vice president, or is this said and done too? There are some folks saying maybe Kamala won't be the person. They send out a trial balloon, and just how the shift happened real quick to get behind Kamala, maybe something happens at their convention.
I don't know who it would be, though. They don't really have a big name to put out there, and all the people who might be, like a Newsom or whatever, have already said no. It's going to be her. I don't see any other way around that, number one. But number two, the VP guy, the one they should go with is Josh Shapiro, but they won't because he's Jewish, and then you know the story there, Joey. But I think Mark Kelly in Arizona, trying to brand himself as a moderate Democrat. It reminds me a lot of like when Hillary Clinton chose Tim Kaine, and like Tim Kaine, no one really had strong feelings about, right? So that's probably where we're going here.
Yeah, and what do you make of J.D. Vance, the New York Times, reporting he's the first party nominee in 75 years with a beard? So hard-hitting stuff there, but what do you think of Senator Vance?
He's just as good as anybody, but I like his story. I know that they're going to try to poke holes in it. It's weird to me how there are some Republicans out there that I'm not surprised Democrats do what they are doing, but that we didn't get Nikki Haley. We didn't get Marco Rubio, so we're going to be publicly petulant about that and just bash J.D. Vance. It seems like such a misguided thing to do.
Well, and I wish the Bush-era Republicans would just go away, or at least get in line. Like, you can either leave the party or support, but we're not going back to y'all's leadership. And I think that's a great
we got in line, like Karl Rove and guys like that. We got in line behind these guys in 2000, 2004, and even, I would say, argue, even though McCain and Bush had their differences in 2008, because it's the same brand of Republican party politics there. We got in line, and they're just like, I think it's their turn to be team players.
No, and do you have a strong opinion on beards in politics? It seems to be making a comeback. I can think of a few folks in Alabama politics that are rocking beards.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it kind of takes away the baby face a little bit.
Yeah,
it's hard to grow a beard, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going through it, and it's a little. You got to cut it and trim it the right way, and just wait. And there's going to always be awkward faces. So not everybody, I guess, can grow.
Yeah, where hair doesn't grow, and it just takes a while for it to fill in.
Yeah, well, and I guess I think it plays, and I think that's making a comeback, and as a lot of things are starting to make a comeback. One thing I want to address that's at 1819news.com this morning is the University of Alabama system keeps DEI leadership, rebrands departments after state passes ban. I just want to say thank you, you being the editor-in-chief there, because I saw other outlets saying, oh, the DEI offices were just dismantled, taken away. No, the same folks are around, and they're just undergoing a rebranding, it looks like, sadly.
And they're probably going to do the same thing, which was not much of anything, but to have the same task, just be under a different department at the UA system. But the thing that's the most compelling angle to the story is just how upset some of the so-called mainstream media in Alabama are about this, that it's giving a W to the bad guys, and they're going to show higher ed in this state that that's not acceptable.
Well, and, the DEI thing has become such a loaded term because I don't think I ever have been like, oh, so-and-so is a DEI hire, even though it might be true. So if you explicitly pick people for particular qualities, that seems like a DEI hire to me, but it seems like it's become this loaded term now that means one thing to one side and one thing to the other side, and it's sort of it's a wash in my mind.
I think so. It's just, but we'll say this, just like woke. One thing that Republicans and conservatives and the messaging that they've been good at is taking these terms that the left sort of has and they take pride in and making them have a negative connotation. So I think if woke and BLM, and now they're taking DEI and making that something that I don't think Democrats are necessarily going to embrace going forward.
Now, before I let you go, are you real excited about the Summer Olympics there in Paris coming up?
They just don't mean as much as they used to back when we had the Cold War. And it was like Soviets and East Germans and all of now. I guess a little bit with China and a little bit with Russia, but it doesn't have the same. I don't know. Like we were going when I was a kid and the Olympics then. You didn't get it in 84 or 80 because of boycotts, but 88 you got the last taste of it.
Yeah, I just saw a clip that the Olympic torch was passed to a drag queen there in Paris about an hour or so ago. So,
oh, thank God they did that.
So get ready for the shot put, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited. Well, I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about how can they do so?
Just go to twitter.com/Jeff_Poor, and we can hash it out there.
Well, very good. And just know, folks, you got to be a little butch to be good at the shot put. I appreciate it, man.
Settle down there now, huh?
Later. Always appreciate Jeff's time. But, no, I don't think dainty people end up being shot putters. I mean, come on. And not even javelin throwers. Different body types for different events. So much going on today. And a lot of it is the fallout from our politics going back and forth. I think the realest thing, again, we've seen in politics for the last few years, because so much of our political conversations are contrived. Everybody's just got their axe to grind and they're rooting for their team. Very few, I would say, objective, detached observers of American politics, though there are more online now. So because everybody's got that axe to grind, most of what you hear from Republicans, most of what you hear from Democrats, you could have pre-scripted it. It's pretty obvious. But then occasionally reality cuts through the BS. Reality actually jumps out and grabs you. And I think the assassination attempt against Donald Trump was one of the realest things we've seen in a long time. So Director Wray of the FBI is currently testifying. We could go to a few clips of, well, that theater that's going on around the real event. Of course, also, there's all this, in terms of people getting ready for Kamala Harris, all this excitement, this honeymoon period. And we all know what people do on their honeymoon. Is that what you do during a political honeymoon? I don't know. I need to get me a friend. But I don't think this is going to last. I really don't. One thing Democrats are touting is look at how many individual donors went to Kamala Harris. So this isn't the elites pushing her, which it obviously is. Kamala Harris is a creature of the ruling class. Kamala Harris is a creature of the same corrupt culture that has surrounded American politics for a long, long time. Kamala Harris is not going to be the one that goes in there and gets things done. She's going to do what she's told on all the big issues. She's not going to be a fighter on the structural things that need to be done. And even on the left-wing things that people on the Democratic side of the aisle might like, I doubt she'll be much of a fighter there either. I think she is an empty suit, like so many folks in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Just another puppet for the donor class to put out in front and say what they need to say. And the fact that we can check off all the intersectional boxes, well, that's even better. I have a feeling, though, this is not going to last. But back to the donations. Because folks are saying, well, Joey, it's not just the donor class. It's not just the ruling class of this country that did this whole switcheroo. Look at all the individual donors that were giving money to Kamala. That's how she raised that 80, that 90 million in just a few hours, 48 hours. Mm-hmm. Thing is, it's probably fake. I'll have to pull up the clip from O'Keefe Media. O'Keefe Media Group, OMG. James O'Keefe, of course, is no longer with Project Veritas. But O'Keefe just dropped a video where he was going to the homes of people who had apparently donated for Act Blue. You know, this whole, if you want to donate to Democrats, we're going to put it in one pot, let's go to Act Blue. And he's not there to harangue people for donating to Democrats. I mean, that's not much of a story. What he's going to people and asking is, did you, sir, ma'am, did you donate 1,000 times last year to the tune of $100,000? Did you donate 1,000 times last year to the tune of $280,000? They're like, everybody on the video that was released goes, no. I mean, I donated like $5 here or there to Act Blue, and I hate Trump, but I don't have the money to donate. I wish I could have donated hundreds of thousands. And the reason O'Keefe's asking these folks, he goes, well, here on FEC, Federal Election Commission filings, it says that your name and your address donated this amount of money, this amount of times to Act Blue. I have a feeling, and it's nothing new, it's just how this game works, that there is a massive money laundering scheme ongoing. You get one person's name and identity, and you start, running up the numbers and covering up where all these central sources of funding are coming from. You better believe that Democrats and Republicans did this in the 2022 election when it came to cryptocurrency. A big part of that was the whole FTX scam. Like, the folks with power and money are going to get their way, and they don't care what rules they have to break. At the end of the day, as much as we might root for one team or another, or you might like the outsider, the man who took a bullet for you, at the end of the day, these traditional political parties are essentially criminal gangs. You might want to call them white-collar gangs, but that's what they are. They do some of the dirtiest stuff in the world. They break all sorts of rules that if anybody else broke, well, they'd be in prison or dead. But these folks upend entire nations, including our own, and they're never held accountable. And in fact, they're the ones that always get bailed out. They're the ones that always get the reward. While the cost of everything they do is thrown onto everyday Americans, and everyday people all around this world have to bear the cost that these criminal gangs that run this country throw on everyone. And they do it with a wink and a smile and a morality lesson and an appeal to your identity. If you vote for me, you'll feel powerful. They're lying to you. Now, you might convince yourself that, well, I love this game. I enjoy this movie that I'm watching, and I do feel empowered, so who are you to question my experience, Joey? Fine, you can do whatever turns you on. But at the end of the day, you're not in charge. I know we get a lot of callers say, no, we're the voters, we're the people, we're in charge of it. No, you're not. It's absurd. It's a con. And there are more and more folks waking up to it. I was amazed to see that one of the groups who seems to be waking up to the con that we call our democracy is, of all groups, Black Lives Matter. BLM. They're not happy. They ain't happy at all. Black Lives Matter on the Twitter X put this out. Timeline of events. I'm quoting their tweet. Sunday, Joe Biden drops out. Kamala Harris announces campaign with Biden endorsement. Kamala Harris says she is going to work hard to earn the nomination. Kamala Harris makes call to party delegates. Monday, Kamala Harris continues making calls to party delegates. Kamala Harris makes 2 public speeches. AP announces Kamala Harris has secured enough delegates to be the Democratic nominee. Monday night. Kamala Harris then releases this statement noting she has worked hard to go out and earn this nomination as promised. A 24-hour process, again I'm quoting Black Lives Matter, a 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. We do not live in a dictatorship. No, we don't. We live in a corrupt ruling oligarchy. Delegates are not oligarchs, but they kind of are. And in fact, it's not really even the delegates. But come on, guys. You're almost there. You're almost starting to see through the weirdness. They have you under their spell for the longest time, all worked up that we're going to fight the big fascist rising evil that is the Orange Man and his posse of maggots. But then you notice that, wait, your party just kind of did the same thing. And in fact, did the thing that Trump constantly criticizes, that they're after him. But they go on. They say, Black Lives Matter says, installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democratic Party a party of hypocrites. Well, that's everybody's favorite insult in politics. You're a hypocrite. No, hypocrisy is the mother's milk of politics. These folks will say whatever they need to say to get you to do and to believe what they need you to believe. The principle is power. The principle is that we're better than everybody else. We're smarter. We have more money. And so we can say whatever we need to and do whatever we need to do with impunity. So it's not a matter of hypocrisy. It's just that you bought into the lie of their values. Those aren't their values. They want to win. Why was Joe Biden taken out? Because he was old? No, because he wasn't going to win. And they want to win. And it's not a matter of we got to go and do it the right way, talk to the folks. Oh, grow up, Peter Pan. We need to win. We don't have time for all your voting and all your kvetching and bitching and moaning. In fact, y'all are just the group that we paid lip service to in 2020, and then we screwed you over as soon as we got into the White House. So the Black Lives Matter ends their tweet saying, "We call on the DNC to create a process that allows for public participation in the nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates." I wonder if that's actually going to be heeded by the party. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll go nuts and have an open convention. But just, again, watching this political movie, as I have for over a decade now, almost every day, rotting my brain by doing it, I have come to the conclusion, after yelling and bitching myself about it for years, that yeah, most of what goes on in politics has nothing to do with voters. It has much more to do with the folks that have the money, the power, and the megaphones. Beautiful thing is, their megaphones aren't quite as powerful as they once were. And whether you're stumping for Trump or you're disgruntled working for Black Lives Matter and what your party leadership has done to you again, just like they did Bernie wrong, there are more and more people starting to realize something's off here. Something is very fake. The news isn't just fake. It's like the whole process itself is fake. They took a once beautiful republic and they turned it into their little propaganda game. Here's the beautiful thing, though, folks. The republic is still ostensibly real. You could have a massive election that changes things overnight. Do I expect that? Probably not. But as soon as people realize, oh, wait, we can actually seize back the actual levers of government, we no longer have to rely on the administrative state. We no longer have to pay attention to the news networks of prestige and record. In fact, you don't really need a college degree from some Ivy League school or state school in order to go make a great life for yourself. In fact, business owners don't really need all that credential in order to know whether or not you can do the job. It's almost like this thing that was built and was running for a few generations is now falling apart. And yeah, it's going to be frustrating to watch. It's also going to be hilarious to watch. And so mark my words. Kamala Harris, as we get to her personally, I don't think she has the juice. She was praised in 2020 as the female Obama. She had all the money, all the media, all these folks behind her. As she kicked off her campaign right after smearing Brett Kavanaugh. She's the one that helped bring Christine Blasey Ford out in the open. And then she launched her campaign for president on that and got all the praise. The female Obama, look at how good she is. And then she crashed and burned because she's weird. And she, I think, is again an empty suit, a creature of a system that rewards those that play ball with the system, not those who challenge it. So we'll see. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And if you got a problem, those little critters getting inside, you know what I'm talking about, cockroaches, spiders, or God forbid, termites are hitting your property. You don't want that. Pest Pro Services can help you with all of that. It could be you have a specific need. You want to get the yard treated for mosquitoes. What they do with that treatment is just remarkable. It works very well. Eddie can attest to that. But maybe you want an inspection for termites or termite treatment if you already know they're probably there. Or maybe you're just looking for an everyday pest control company that, you know, can be trusted. That's earned the trust of your neighbors. Like, does the job well. They're truly pros about it. That's Pest Pro Services. So call them today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Well, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern wind will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Folks, I need to apologize and correct the record for that last rant I went on. I think I might have been a little off base. Here's Chuck Schumer to correct the record about what's going on with Vice President Harris being the nominee now.
From the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Yeah, did you catch that one part, though?
From the grassroots bottom up.
From the grassroots bottom up. So I guess I was wrong. Chuck Schumer just corrected me. And it's not just Schumer. Let's go to Hakeem. Hakeem Jeffries.
Schumer.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Biden is a patriotic American. Joe Biden is a heroic American. Joe Biden is a great American.
You're right.
Joe Biden
Stop it.
will go down
Just stop.
in American history
Yeah.
as one of the most consequential presidents
Oh, you
of
won't.
all time.
Most people will remember any
President
of
Joe
us.
Biden has made the selfless decision
Right.
to pass the torch
Pass it.
to Vice President Kamala Harris,
Right.
who is ready,
Yeah.
willing, and able to lead us
Mm-hmm.
into the future.
Right.
Kamala Harris
Mm-hmm.
and her candidacy has excited and energized
Yeah.
the House Democratic Caucus,
Sure.
the Democratic Party, and the nation. Vice President Harris has earned the nomination
Mm-hmm.
from the grassroots up and not the top down.
So Hakeem saying that, she obviously got it from the top down. She got it from the grassroots up, folks. After meeting with, top dollar donors and having the major media organizations, essentially the internal memo service for much of our deep state, essentially stump for her and push Biden out. But she did this from the grassroots up. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yes, that is amazing. And I guess that one person that clapped for Chuck Schumer must have been Hakeem himself.
Here, I got to hear that again, Red Top. Hold
Now
on.
that the process is played out,
Yeah?
from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Joey, just don't play a clip if the response is that bad. Or put in, don't they have fake yelling? They have it in every game show in the world.
Right. Oh my! I love too how they're all like on the nose, like from the grassroots up. Oh, is this kind of the same talking point as Joe Biden's sharpest attack? Like,
Yes,
give me a
Joey,
break, you freaking liar!
Now that we've heard it twice in a row, every news broadcast is going to be saying from the grassroots up. You watch and see. This is going to be the ultimate parody situation. Now, let me tell you this. I keep visualizing in my mind every time I hear these guys, you're a liar. No, you're a liar.
Yeah, they're
You're
all
a bigger liar. It takes me back, and the first time I saw this scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I almost died laughing, where him and the fat boy are going, I know you are, but what am I?
Right.
I know you are, but what am I? Somebody please do that. Joey, and I have to admit, I was really feeling buzzed good when I was in Atlanta and saw that with my girlfriend, who's now the F-35 crew chief here at Stanley.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was F-16 50th anniversary was yesterday.
Gotta like a
She
lady
has
in
her
uniform.
name on one of them.
Mhm.
But I couldn't believe there was two grown men doing, I know you are, but what about? But the acting was superb, you have to admit.
Oh yes. Well,
Now, very quickly, let me tell you, got another new helicopter pilot out there at Maxwell.
Mhm.
He's a bad boy. He's about 6'3". He is an instructor. And I got all the information on the new helicopters. Two 1,400 horsepower gas turbine engines on it. The damn thing ain't that big, Joey. That's 2,800 horsepower. It will go 192 miles an hour, which is badass for a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
And his specialty is flying through the clouds, which, you know what? You talk to any pilot, they don't fly through clouds. So I was talking to him yesterday, and, you know, this is the second one of these pilots I've worked with. They're very nice. They're literal He-men. These guys are superhuman looking. Isn't that interesting?
well, I'll just say, go take a cold shower. Like, please keep your pants on when you're talking to me. Like this, you sound excited.
Oh man, these pilots are very smart, and there's nothing harder to fly than a helicopter. You got to be. That's tougher than playing the pipe organ and the guitar at the same time, Joey.
there you go. Well, I appreciate it, Red Top.
Roll Tide, don't Trump.
272-9228. Let's go to the line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, the comment regarding all the money that has been, quote, and I used the word quote, donated,
T-Spear, you're breaking up. Like, I can't understand a word you're saying.
hang on. I would like to comment on all the money that is being donated.
Yeah, you're going to have to call back and try again, because I can't. I'm in too good of a mood. Actually, I'm in a little bit of a funky mood right now. Coming up today, things to look out for. Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu is going to give a speech to the Congress. Wondering why. Then Joe Biden giving an address to the nation tonight on why he decided to not run for a second term, even though he was definitely running for a second term because he's as sharp as a tack. It's going to be fascinating to watch, folks, as Kamala tries to run away from the record of the administration. And how much is Joe Biden going to sit back and take? Now, maybe the deal has been done and they understand here are the parameters of the game we're about to play. But Joe Biden, especially if he is in decline, mentally speaking, could start to be a bit of a wild card. And the idea that Harris can distance herself from this administration and their policies, that she isn't weighed down by the same baggage as Joe, is just absurd. The idea that Joe Biden, who's sharp as a tack, was only unpopular because, well, he was pooping his pants and he was losing his mind. No, he was unpopular for all sorts of reasons. Not only just how he carried himself, many of the policy decisions he's made, and how everyday Americans feel about the economy, and about especially our foreign policy. Why is it every time an establishment type, whether it's a Bush or a Biden, or heck, you even thought, oh, Obama's going to be the outsider, even Obama, why is there always more war? Why? There are a lot of reasons Americans are upset with this administration, and so I don't think picking the vice president, who was, yes, the border czar, she's also the AI czar. She's fighting the good fight to make sure AI is not racist. Okay, I'm sure you'll be real successful one way or the other, right? It's going to be interesting to watch as people start to make up their minds. Again, in many ways, the die is cast. There is a solid group of folks that will never vote for Donald Trump. And there are a solid group of folks that will never, ever, ever vote for a Democrat for president. Yes, we know. Y'all are a fixed entity in this regard. The trick is going to be independence. And you can try, we all just a bunch of racist, sexists. You can try Donald Trump's a fascist. He's going to be a dictator for more than just one day. You can try all that, but I think you've tried it before, and it doesn't work that well. Because I think more and more Americans, especially independents, are getting quite wise to the games y'all have been playing for way too long. We're tired of y'all. Doesn't mean everybody loves Trump, but he's just become the middle finger for Americans who feel like, we're tired of this stuff. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, they're ready to help you men out. And it can happen to any guy. Low testosterone. But what are the signs of low T? Well, a lack of motivation, a lack of energy and drive. You just always feel tired. You also see a decrease, not just your everyday drive, but your sex drive. Like you're never in the mood. You just feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, just a hazy mental state. That very well could be low T. And, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're more likely that it's low testosterone. But there are a lot of guys with these symptoms in their 20s and 30s who don't know that it's, in fact, low testosterone causing a lot of these issues for them. So why not stop by Montgomery Men's Health? The providers there can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99, plus you'll get a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate health without them having to, wag the finger, so to speak. And then if you do have low T, they have low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, this is Mike from Owens Optical in Eastbrook. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over 10 years now, and doing so has dramatically increased our business. The sales and production staff are some of the best I've ever worked with. Thanks, Blue Water, for all you do for us.
Radio reaches 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
When you have the opportunity to go for gold, take it. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is at Lexus of Montgomery. Drive the new IS300, just $396 a month. New Lexus ES350, only $473 a month. At Lexus of Montgomery, everybody wins. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Number 5130706, 4,999 due at signing. Number U1842006, 5,999 due at signing. 5,000 miles per year, 36 months, plus tax, tag, title, and $995 fee. Offer expires 7/31/24.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
If Kamala Harris does end up being the Democrats' nominee, will you commit to debating her at least one time?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'd want to. I think it's important. I would be willing to do more than one debate, actually.
Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, saying, yes, I would be happy to do more than one debate, actually. Interesting. And then here's a quick reaction by CNN. They're talking about a group called Win with Black Men. They've raised $1.3 billion for the Harris campaign. Wonder who the sort of seed funding is provided by. It was real grassroots, guys. Real grassroots. Anyway, let's listen in to... They're reacting to a new CBS poll. Interesting numbers here.
77%, or there it is, 76% would go with Kamala Harris, 21% with Donald Trump. Those are historic highs for a Republican, never mind Donald Trump, who I think got, a heck of a lot less than that. What does she need to do in your mind to try and get potentially some of those voters back? And we know
we got to hear this again, because who are they talking? Oh, they're talking about black voters in the country.
Came out where basically 77%, or there it is, 76% would go with Kamala Harris, 21% with Donald Trump. Those are historic highs for a Republican, never mind Donald Trump, who I think got, a heck of a lot less than that.
So the trends aren't great. I mean, maybe they can turn it around. Maybe they won't miss next time with Trump or something. Well, I was just one guy, Joey. Just one guy, and it was incompetence. We'll get to the hearing with Director Wray after the top of the hour break. Doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, though, folks. that they're definitely massaging the story until it is palatable and somewhat believable to those who aren't paying attention or who just can't think at all. We'll see what they come up with, but it's such a negligent, catastrophic failure that sometimes negligence becomes malice and ill intent. You're so bad at what you do, you probably did it on purpose. It looks like you threw the game. Of course, I can't prove that. But I also don't find the alternative theories all that believable, to put it mildly. Again, 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the program. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Flying solo today, huh?
Yes, sir.
Real quick, kind of leading into your next segment, because I got to be hung up with something. I watched a little bit of the this morning of the FBI, and I was listening, and then I said, you know what? These are the same guys that had Hunter's, laptop and the Russia collusion. Why am I even listening to these people, Joey? Do you believe the FBI?
No, I don't trust them one bit. Not in leadership.
You've got one corrupt part of the government, the Secret Service, and then you got the other FBI going to tell you about them. I mean, boy, I like that kind of backup.
Well, and I love, by the way, Jim, I noticed this the other day, the ruling class's response is, hey, let's go get a bunch of good-looking people, men and women that everybody watching wants to have sex with, and we'll make them FBI agents and put it on TV on CBS as a new sitcom. And maybe we'll gain respect again. It's just like, give me a...
I mean, I'm not going to take anything. Christopher Wray, he's just a slick car salesman.
Yeah, and it always... Sorry.
I'm just saying, I just don't believe any of this crap. I mean, we're, as far as getting to the bottom of this thing, we're never going to get to the bottom of it, Joey, because they've got this whole thing lined up. I don't know if I really want to know what was going on.
Well,
like old George Carlin said, Greg's favorite thing. It's a big club, and we ain't in it.
And to quote the Greg Carlin, it's all BS, and it's bad for you. I appreciate it, Jim. Really do.
All right, buddy. Have a good.
Yeah, that's the line that always comes back to my mind. It's, I think, Carlin's last special. It's all bull, all BS, and it's bad for you. 272-9228 if you want to get in line for the next hour, next segment. First, as part of the program, brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. And there at Clearwater's, Reed Waters and his team are ready to help you with, tree trimming, tree removal, full-on tree removal, or stump grinding if you need to get rid of that ugly stump that's just an eyesore and also attracting things like termites and snakes and other critters. You just want to get rid of it. Clearwater's Property Management can help you with all of that. Could be there's a tree that in fact, is about to fall. Well, get it removed before it causes major problems and major damage. Could be, your driveway's been blocked, or there's certain overhang hitting the house or branches hitting the house every time the wind starts blowing strongly. Tree trimming can get the job done. That's Clearwater's Property Management. So give Reed and his team a call today at 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's address to Congress will shine a spotlight on the gulf between Republicans, by and large supporters of Israel, and Democrats, whose ranks are replete with factions denouncing Israel and, in some cases, holding anti-Semitic rallies on college campuses. On the campaign trail, Kamala Harris will head to the solidly Republican state of Indiana, and Donald Trump holding his first public campaign rally since President Biden's exit from the 2024 race. Mr. Trump will be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Drops for big tech, dragging stock indexes lower after Tesla and Alphabet delivered profit reports that hit Wall Street with a thud. The Dow losing 328 points, the Nasdaq off 510. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern wind will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Montgomery Humane Society will be closed until Saturday due to an outbreak of canine flu. There are currently over 40 systematic dogs in the facility. Adoptions of all dogs will be halted for a period of 4 weeks. Essential intakes of sick and injured animals will still be accepted during the temporary closure. Now that President Joe Biden has withdrawn from the 2024 election, Democrats are on a strict deadline to elect a new candidate. In Alabama, the Democratic Party must declare all candidates by August 23rd. The Democratic National Convention doesn't begin until August 19th, but contingency plans are already being discussed. Montgomery's Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church has been nominated for a place on the World Heritage List. Inspired by the history of the church and its role in the Montgomery bus boycott, the World Heritage List includes international sites of cultural and historical significance. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Craving authentic Italian? Every Friday and Saturday evening, Epicure and Jack's Tavern transforms into an Italian paradise. From homemade pasta to classic Italian specialties, let them transport you to Italy. Their executive chef, Glenn Tarantino, crafts every dish to perfection.
Discover a world of exquisite wines at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. From La Crema to Camus, enjoy their full line of wines at below retail prices, perfect for dine-in or carry-out. Savor the flavors of top-tier wines without breaking the bank. Experience the wine wonderland at Epicure and Jack's Tavern.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measure.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. For Montgomery's conversational radio show, it's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, I mentioned we we're going to go to Christopher Wray, but apparently Bibi Netanyahu is now speaking live, so we might as well take this. This is live from the floor of the Congress. A lot of applause there. Yeah, a lot of applause. Though there are some empty chairs, apparently a lot of people boycotting.
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. Thank you.
More applause, okay. Start talking or I'm going to regret going to this.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Senator Ben Cardin, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, senators, members of Congress, distinguished guests. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the profound honor of addressing this great citadel of democracy for the fourth time. We meet today at a crossroads of history. Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization. It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
Well, I like that.
Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
Again, this is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking to the Congress. This is happening live.
And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing. We will win.
What's taking so long?
Ladies and gentlemen, like December 7th, 1941, and September 11th, 2001, October 7th is a day that will forever live in infamy. It was the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. It began as a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. Thousands of young Israelis were celebrating at an outdoor music festival. And suddenly, at 6:29 a.m., as children were still sleeping soundly in their beds in the towns and kibbutzim next to Gaza, suddenly heaven turned into hell. 3,000 Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel. They butchered 1,200 people from 41 countries, including 39 Americans. Proportionately, compared to our population size, that's like 20 9/11s in one day. And these monsters, they raped women, they beheaded men, they burnt babies alive, they killed parents in front of their children, and children in front of their parents. They dragged 255 people, both living and dead, into the dark dungeons of Gaza. Israel has already brought home 135 of these hostages, including 7 who were freed in daring rescue operations. One of those freed hostages, Noor Gamani, is here in the gallery, sitting near my wife, Sarah. On the morning On the morning of October 7th, the entire world saw Noah's look of desperation as she was violently abducted to Gaza on the back of a motorcycle. I met Noah's mother, Leora, a few months ago. She was dying of cancer. She said to me, "Prime Minister, I have one final wish. I wish to hug my daughter Noah one last time before I die." 2 months ago, I authorized a breathtaking commando rescue operation. Our special forces, including a heroic officer named Arnon Zmora, who fell in this battle, rescued Noah and 3 other hostages. Noah, I think it's one of the most moving things. When Noah was reunited with her mother, Leora, and her mother's last wish came true. Noah, we're so thrilled to have you with us today. Thank you. Many hostage families are also here with us today, including Eliyahu Bibas. Eliyahu Bibas is the grandfather of those 2 beautiful red-headed boys, the Bibas boys, toddlers. And they were taken hostage with their mother and Eliyahu's son. The entire family was taken hostage. 2 beautiful red-haired children taken hostage. What monsters. And with us also is Iris Chaim, whose son, Yotam, bravely escaped Hamas captivity with 2 other Israelis, and tragically they were killed, making their way back to our lines. We have with us also the families of American hostages, They're here.
Again, this is live. Bibi Netanyahu addressing the Congress of the United States, telling the story
The
of
pain
October
these
7th.
families have endured is beyond words. I met with them again yesterday, and I promised them this: I will not rest until all their loved ones are home, all of them. As we speak, we're actively engaged in intensive efforts to secure their release, and I'm confident that these efforts can succeed. Some of them are taking place right now. I want to thank President Biden for his tireless efforts on behalf of the hostages and for his efforts to the hostage families as well. I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel after the savage attack on October 7th. He rightly called Hamas sheer evil. He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East to deter a wider war. And he came to Israel to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten.
Oh. There's Senator Brett in the front row, standing up applauding.
President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish-American Zionist. My friends, for more than 9 months, Israel's soldiers have shown boundless courage. With us today, is Lieutenant Avichai Reuven. Avichai is an officer in the Israeli paratroopers. His family immigrated to Israel from Ethiopia. In the early hours of October 7th, Avichai heard the news of Hamas's bloody rampage. He put on his uniform, grabbed his rifle, but he didn't have a car. So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people. You heard that right. He ran 8 miles, came to the front lines, killed many terrorists, and saved many, many lives. Avichai, we all honor your remarkable heroism. Another Israeli is with us here today, and he's stand up right next to Avichai. This is Master Sergeant Ashraf al-Bakhiri. Ashraf is a Bedouin soldier from the Israeli Muslim community of Raat. On October 7th, Ashraf too killed many terrorists. First, he defended his comrades in the military base, and he then rushed to defend the neighboring communities, including the devastated community of Kibbutz Be'eri. Like Ashraf, Like Ashraf, the Muslim soldiers of the IDF fought alongside their Jewish, Druze, Christian, and other comrades in arms with tremendous bravery. A third hero, Lieutenant Asa Sofer, is also here with us. Asa fought as an officer in the Tank Corps, and he was wounded in battle. He was wounded in battle while protecting his fellow soldiers from a grenade. He lost his right arm and the vision in his left eye. He's recovering, and incredibly, within a short time, Asa will soon return to active duty as a commander of a tank company.
Again, this is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking live in front of the United States Congress, giving us a speech before the Congress, other than those boycotting it. Thus all
I
the
just
applause.
learned there is a fourth hero here, Lieutenant Jonathan Ben Chamo, who lost a leg in Gaza and continued to fight.
Oh, wow. Holding up the crutch that he has to use now that he doesn't have a leg.
My friends, these are the soldiers of Israel, unbowed, undaunted, unafraid. As the Bible says, Am kelavi yakum. They shall rise like lions. They have risen like lions. The lions of Judah, the lions of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the IDF come from every corner of Israeli society, every ethnicity, every color, every creed, left and right, religious and secular. All are imbued with the indomitable spirit of the Maccabees, the legendary Jewish warriors of antiquity. With us today is Yechiel Leiter, the father of one of those Maccabees. Yechiel's father escaped the Holocaust and found refuge in America. As a young man, Yechiel moved to Israel and raised a family of 8 children. He named his eldest son, Moshe, after his late father. Moshe became an exemplary officer in one of our elite commando units. He served with distinction for 2 decades while raising 6 beautiful children of his own. On October 7th, Moshe volunteered to return to combat. 4 weeks later, he was killed when a booby-trapped mine exploded in a tunnel shaft right next to a mosque. At his son's funeral, Yechiel said this: "If the state of Israel had not been established after the Holocaust, the image engraved in our collective memory would have been the photograph of that helpless Jewish boy in the Warsaw Ghetto holding his hands up in the air with Nazi rifles pointed at him. But because of the birth of Israel," Yechiel continued, "because of the courage of soldiers like my son Moshe, the Jewish people are no longer helpless in the face of our enemies." Yechiel, please rise so we can honor your son's sacrifice. And I pledge to you and to all the bereaved families of Israel, some of whom are in this hall today, the sacrifice of your loved ones will not be in vain. It will not be in vain because for Israel, never again must never be an empty promise. It must always remain a sacred vow. And after October 7th, never again is now. My friends, defeating our brutal enemies requires both courage and clarity. Clarity begins by knowing the difference between good and evil. Yet incredibly, many anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil. They stand with Hamas. They stand with rapists and murderers. They stand with people who came into the kibbutzim, into a home. The parents hid the children, the two babies, in the attic, in a secret attic. They murder the families, the parents. They find the secret latch to the hidden attic, and then they murder the babies. These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves. They refuse to make the simple distinction between those who target terrorists and those who target civilians, between the democratic state of Israel and the terrorist thugs of Hamas. We recently learned from the National Security Director, U.S. Director of National Intelligence, that Iran is funding and promoting anti-Israel protests in America. They want to disrupt America. So these protesters burn American flags even on the 4th of July. And I wish to salute the fraternity brothers at the University of North Carolina who protected the American flag against these anti-Israel protesters. For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building. Not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
Again, folks, this is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking live for the Congress.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC. These protesters chant from the river to the sea, but many don't have a clue what river and what sea they're talking about. They not only get an F in geography, they get an F in history. They call Israel a colonialist state. Don't they know that the land of Israel is where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob prayed, where Isaiah and Jeremiah preached, and where David and Solomon ruled? For nearly 4,000 years, the land of Israel has been the homeland of the Jewish people. It's always been our home. It will always be our home. It's not only the campus protesters who get it wrong. It's also the people who run those campuses. 80 years after the Holocaust, the presidents of Harvard, Penn, and I'm ashamed to say my alma mater, MIT, couldn't bring themselves to condemn the calls for the genocide of Jews. You remember what they said? They said, it depends on the context. Well, let me give these befuddled academics a little context. Anti-Semitism is the world's oldest hatred. For centuries, the massacre of Jews was always preceded by wild accusations. We were accused of everything from poisoning wells to spreading plagues, to using the blood of slaughtered children to bake Passover matzahs. These preposterous anti-Semitic lies led to persecution, mass murder, and ultimately to history's worst genocide, the Holocaust. Now, just as malicious lies were leveled for centuries at the Jewish people, malicious lies are now being leveled at the Jewish state. No, don't applaud. Listen. The outrageous slanders that paint Israel as racist and genocidal are meant to delegitimize Israel, to demonize the Jewish state, and to demonize Jews everywhere. And no wonder we've witnessed an appalling rise of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. My friends, whenever and wherever we see the scourge of anti-Semitism, we must unequivocally condemn it and resolutely fight it, without exception.
Again, folks, it's Benjamin Netanyahu before the Congress Live. I do have to hit a break here, but that is happening live as we speak. 272-9228. If you have any reaction to that. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and the team are ready to help you with, that roof of yours. Could be an asphalt or a metal roof. You should get it inspected every 3 to 5 years for basic preventative maintenance, but you might as well do it every year. Do it on an annual basis. And that way you'll stay up to date. You're not going to let a problem fester over time. That's when your insurance, by the way, won't cover something, when they can argue, oh, you've been negligent in informing us and fixing the problem. But here's the beautiful thing when you work with River Region Contracting, their inspections and estimates are always free. Yes, free. So you're not on the hook. It might be you call them up at 356-8635. They come on out and they go, you're fine. Your roof looks great. You're not on the hook for any money. But if they do find an issue, that estimate, it's going to be free. They show up on time. They get the job done well. And they're insurance specialists at River Region Contracting. So if they do find a problem with your roof, your insurance company might cover, they can walk you through that claims process and make it a swift and easy experience. So call them up today. Remember the name, River Region Contracting, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them, well, you heard about him here. That Joey fellow on the radio sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This isn't just another sale. It's the Toyota Big One Sales Event at Toyota of Montgomery with big deals on our big Toyota inventory. This month only, get big savings on the fuel-efficient new 2024 Toyota Corolla LE, just $199 a month. The oh-so-stylish and reliable new 2025 Camry LE, only $298 a month. Need more space? Need more versatility? Drive the new 2024 RAV4 LE for only $298 a month. No matter what Toyota you decide on, now's the time to save big. Even the 2025 models are here with big savings. That's why at Toyota of Montgomery, everybody wins. These big offers are here for just a small amount of time. Visit us today at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. Corolla LE TSRP 24,183. Camry LE TSRP 30,842. Raw 4 liters ETSRP 31,173. 12K miles per year for 36-month lease with 3,980, 3,850, and 4,450 to sign. Zero security deposit with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, and $995 fee. Offer ends 7/31/2024.
Hey, y'all, Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar. We're over here on the beautiful Alabama River. You know, if you had never been here, we're easy to get to. Get on I-65 and take that North Boulevard exit, and takes the first exit. That's Louisville Street. Hit the bottom of the ramp, turn right 3 times, follow that to the end of the road, and you'll find us down here on the river. Also, we're right down the street from New Monument Park. So if you're down visiting the New Monument Park, you can just come on down here to the Oyster Bar and get good to eat. We also rent out pontoon boats. It's nice on the river down here. You can jump in the river if you get too hot. Find you a shady spot and lay down. But we got a pontoon boat rental. All you need is a driver's license, a credit card, a little common sense will get you going. Got an RV park down here on the river. That's right. You can come down here and stay a little while, stay a little longer. We got room for you. We could cook that good seafood for you. And every Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, we bring you some great live entertainment. Just 3 weeks in a row, we're going to Louisiana. Big Al and the heavyweights are here. That's right. Big Al's back in town. Check it out. Go to CapitalOysterBar.com or our Facebook page. Get out here soon. Come hungry. Showtime's 4 o'clock, y'all.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health...
Make it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern wind will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Soon we'll be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. During our big moving sale, get a great deal on a Kubota with 0% APR up to 84 months with approved credit. Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor in Montgomery or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Just thought I'd carry that live. Benjamin Netanyahu is still speaking, going on to say that in response to the prosecutors at the International Criminal Court, that it's Hamas whose strategy is that of putting civilians in harm's way. In fact, Hamas's strategy to have people die. In fact, Israel has gone above and beyond the requirements of international law to try to stop that, but it is the policy of Hamas to use folks in that way. Outside of the capital, apparently numerous police are in riot gear and on high alert, deploying pepper spray as thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are turning violent as they approach the U.S. Capitol. Currently, numerous D.C. Metro Police, along with Capitol Police and other agencies, are on high alert and in riot gear, wearing gas masks and holding up riot shields, now deploying pepper spray. The protesters are trying to make their way to the U.S. Capitol building, chanting slogans and waving flags. Objects have already been thrown at law enforcement as tensions are rapidly rising. I'm looking at some images of that. Oh, the times we live in. But I just wanted to bring that to you live because, well, for better or for worse, it is history. And the more I look at this, the more I want the killing to stop. And I would say, at this point, you need to back the folks who are stronger, number one, but also seem to stand for something that isn't just the destruction of the Jewish state. Because that seems to be what, in particular, Hamas stands for. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. And that's 272-9228. I'm not going to carry the entire speech, though. We're going to move on here. Let's, before we completely shift gears, though, let's take a call. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Dave.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Good. You're on the air. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought I was going to screening. I was just calling in about Netanyahu's talking, and I kind of had a question. You had Judge Napolitano on, I guess it's 2 or 3 weeks ago,
right?
And I actually like him, but he made a comment about he was not really in support of. He thought the Jews were treating the Gazans bad. But then nothing was ever said about, well, what justification can you give for torturing women and children and babies to death?
And he was, and I believe Judge Knapp was citing this International Criminal Court, or Court of Justice findings. And my looking at it, I just don't agree. I think it's overstated. The amount of death is immense, but a lot of it is, I think, strategic on the part of Hamas. So I simply don't agree with the judge in that regard.
Right, but I guess that was a question I was kind of hoping you would have asked. Is that, well, how do you? Okay, I understand that you think this is bad, but then how does this? What did the Jews do to justify torturing women and children to death? I just can't get my mind around what could possibly justify that.
Well, and as you go into the history,
I get killing the guys.
Yeah. Well, and as you go into history too, it is a very messy history and back and forth. But I find that the constant going back into history, it's like, do you want them just to not exist? The state shouldn't exist at all? Or which war do you want to re-prosecute? Because I believe there's a few wars in this 80 years. And it just seems like there were folks on the cusp of Arab nations in particular about to start making actual like tourism visas between each other's nations. That was the plan, to get to know one another, to break the propaganda in the region. And of course this happens. So I find myself just, number one, sad that the amount of death and destruction is going on. And I want it to end as swiftly as possible. But I think the quickest way for that to end is Hamas to give up the hostages.
Right. And I guess that's kind of the way I feel, is that, yeah, I would like to see it end too, but it would end tomorrow if Hamas surrendered, or if Hamas would simply remove themselves from the Gazan civilians. The civilian casualty, I believe, would end tomorrow. That it's the Hamas that's causing all the death, but no one blames them. It seems like that puzzles me. That why is that not obvious? That, you know, if Hamas stopped doing what they were doing, then Israel would stop what they're doing.
Well, and people compare it to, say, like Native American resistance here in the United States. And, if you were in this position, how would you fight back? But I get that there are going to be people that resist what they view as tyranny. I don't understand what's actually, it's always animated by something. And so when I look at what's animating, say, Hamas, I think it is evil. I think on that front, Netanyahu is absolutely right. And by the way, though there is daylight in Israel between different leaders and political parties, folks there are pretty united across the political divide on we have to take out Hamas after what they did. So, yeah, I find the whole argument over the completely re-prosecuting all the history leaves people down a wrong road.
Right. And I understand that. And again, my question always goes back to, I just can't see the justification. If they just went in and killed the people, that would be one thing. I might not agree with, but I could understand that. But the fact that they were torturing people to death,
right,
that's what to me is just unacceptable.
Right, and
I don't know how you can justify that.
you can't. I think that's
But people are.
Or the trick I've seen is more ignoring it. But then, yeah, there are some folks who are just nasty about it, and they think anything is warranted against Israel. It's a little mix of both. Some folks saying, we told you so. What do you think was going to happen? Other folks just celebrating it. The day after October 7th, there were people celebrating the attack. So,
right.
It's just nasty. And a shame. Well, I appreciate the call, Dave.
Okay, well, take my call. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. 272-9228. Line 3, you're on there. Who's this? Hello? Anybody there? Anybody at all? All right. Thanks for calling. Netanyahu is still speaking, saying victory is in sight. Those who attack Israel pay a heavy price. We will defend ourselves. (272-9228). It's just the amount of war all around the world since Biden and team got in charge. It makes me nervous of something wider, including what's going on there in Israel. Does this spread into the north with fighting with Hezbollah? Do other nations stand idly by? In particular, a nation like Turkey or Iran. So we shall see. But then you throw into the mix what's going on in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, the always present threat over Taiwan, and you have to wonder how close we are to something we hadn't seen in many generations, that we haven't seen in 80 years. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. This part of the program brought to you by, in fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, buying a home. Could be you just moved into the market and you need to buy. They can help you out. They're great local folks, very trusted. Just get in touch with so many of their customers have been very happy. They've even had people bring them flowers. I mean, you're talking about a big moment in people's lives when you're buying a home. And Alabama Home Mortgage can help you do it the right way. It all starts with pre-approval, and then they'll walk with you every step of the way to closing day, from appraisals and inspections. They really know their stuff. Of course, they can also help you with a refinance deal. So maybe you're under a mountain of credit card debt that's weighing you down. Or it could be you just want to rearrange your finances. You don't really have a problem. That you're doing great, but you want to, take some cash out. Reinvest in that property. Reinvest in yourself or your family. They can help you with all those goals there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So call them today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. Netanyahu saying the war could end tomorrow if Hamas surrenders and gives up the hostages. Yeah, well, I agree. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This summer, let the experts at Clearwaters take care of your tree troubles. Whether it's a hazardous tree looming over your property or simply time for a seasonal trim or damage from a storm, their team is ready to help. With over 10 years of experience serving Montgomery and the surrounding areas, Clearwaters prides themselves on safety, efficiency, and leaving your property cleaner than they found it. Their certified arborists ensure that the job is done right from the start. No job is too big or too small, residential or commercial. Clearwaters handles it all, and they are proud to offer competitive pricing and free estimates. They understand that your trees are an investment in your property's beauty and value. Call Clearwaters Management today at 430-0376 and let them take care of your trees so you can enjoy a safe, more beautiful place. Clearwaters, where expertise meets excellence.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
When you have the opportunity to go for gold, take it. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is at Lexus of Montgomery. Drive the new IS 300, just $396 a month. New Lexus ES 350, only $473 a month. At Lexus of Montgomery, everybody wins. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Number 5130706, 4,999 due at signing. Number 1844206, 5,999 due at signing. 5,000 miles per year, 36 months, plus tax, tag, title, and $995 fee. Offer expires 7/31/24.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Bibi Netanyahu still speaking before the Congress there, saying we hope to live in peace with Gazans after this is done. And as is tradition at this point in the show, we have Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little lonely. Eddie, not being here.
Yeah, but you've really manned up and taken control of the show.
Thank you for that vote of confidence in my
You are
manliness. What a man that Joey is. Sure. Oh my goodness! Now, what's the name? Like, we call them the captain chairs, but what's the brand? What is this particular seating arrangement? Because it's so comfortable, and I've got to get by there, and I'm thinking about it, Michael. I'm thinking about it.
Okay. So the captain's chairs are made by Palliser. That's the same company that makes the theater seating we sell. We also have a couple of lift chairs that they also make. So as we age and our knees aren't what they used to be, this will help you get up. And anyway, the captain's chairs, they come with an ottoman. We can order them in any flavor that you choose. They make 2 styles. They do recline. they're just super comfortable. They just seem to fit everybody.
And they also seem like, I mean, I know Palisar makes some big old recliners too and other seatings, but these I'm thinking of have a much smaller footprint than, say, your traditional recliner.
Well, I think that's the thing that most of the women enjoy about this is that it doesn't take up a lot of real estate, so you can almost put them anywhere. And some people use them without the ottomans. I don't know what they do with them, but you know, even with the ottoman, it doesn't take up a lot of real estate.
Yeah, folks.
It's just so comfortable.
Yeah, and they really, I could fall asleep in one of those very easily. That's why I'm eyeing it. I really am. But of course, there's all sorts of stuff there to check out at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, folks. I'm just thinking of relaxation today for some reason, but from electronics to appliances to even grills, grill accessories, they've got your back. So you can always go to thinkcohens.com or stop by the Boulevard. That's the best way to do it. 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael or one of the great team members. Say, hey, I heard Michael on with that manly guy, Joey.
The manly one, not the girly one, but the manly one.
Right.
Poor Eddie. No.
Well, he's not here to defend himself. That's what you get for taking
Serves
it
him
down.
right.
Well, I appreciate it, Michael. I really
All
do.
right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Take
sir.
care.
And now Netanyahu saying thank you to President Trump and saying Israel is relieved Trump has emerged safe. Hoping America will remain a forceful light in a good and dark, and a light force for good in a dark and dangerous world. Well, we got to hit this top of the hour break. A speech going about an hour now. Brought you about 20, 30 minutes of it. And apparently there is mayhem outside the Capitol as the speech is ongoing. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Speaking before Congress, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu receiving a thunderous ovation and spoke of what happened to begin the Israel-Hamas war and stressed that the U.S. and Israel must stand together to defeat evil. FBI Director Christopher Wray has told lawmakers that a laptop tied to the Trump rally gunman included a Google search of how far away was Oswald from Kennedy, a reference to Lee Harvey Oswald, the gunman who killed President John F. Kennedy in Dallas. That Google search, apparently by rally gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks, it was done a week before the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. Stock sharply lower, the Dow losing 363 points, the Nasdaq off 562. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Oh, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern wind will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News. The renewal of Alabama Commission awarded over $15.5 million to 7 economic development organizations across the state to enhance industrial site readiness through the Growing Alabama program, benefiting communities including Auburn, Brundage, Enterprise, to name a few. Governor Ivey emphasizing the importance of replenishing industrial site inventories to maintain economic development momentum. The program supports site preparation and infrastructure developments to attract new business or expansions. More Alabama news to come after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A voting rights advocacy group has filed a lawsuit seeking greater clarification on a new Alabama law that's set to take effect October 1st. The Campaign Law Center filing the suit in Montgomery County Circuit Court last week, challenging House Bill 100. It cites more than 40 crimes of moral turpitude that, if convicted, a person would lose their right to vote. The city of Huntsville has been selected as one of 6 areas across the West and South where the United States Census workers will conduct practice runs in advance of the 2030 census. Residents will be asked to fill out practice census forms starting in the spring of 2026. I'm Tim Berg.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Montgomery Men's Health exists for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At Montgomery Men's Health, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for years. Our friendly, discreet team of medical providers will take the time to listen. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Book your appointment now.
Are you ready to make that lake life dream of yours a reality? I'm Eddie Bader, and my partner Hannah Grantham and I have the perfect home for you.
That's right. 341 Beechwood Drive is a stunning waterfront property on Lake Jordan.
This custom home has 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and more amenities than we can fit in this ad.
But there's more. The seller is offering an interest rate buy-down with the right offer, making it easier than ever to own your dream lakefront property.
Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us, Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader with Forest Meadows Homes and Land, 334-322-0662 to start living the lake life you've always dreamed of.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to longtime caller, longtime listener, Papa B on the line. Hey, Papa B, how you doing?
Hey, Joey, you gotta love beating Netanyahu, right? I mean, that guy gives a speech like nobody else can. And what I really love about him is he can give you a kiss on the forehead while pouring salt in your wound at the same time. That was beautiful. You know, there is a seething cauldron of anti-Semitism and really anti-Christian type sentiment on the left that has been carefully concealed for a long, long time. It's now coming out. You know, they feel emboldened after, I presume, you know, some recent win. But BB just, he kind of pats him on the head and says thank you, but at the same time, you know, he's pointing out, look, you're on the wrong side of this, right? Don't you see that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He's brilliant at it, you know. I mean,
well, I mean, I think he's a true leader of his nation, and that's why he's been in power for so long.
Yeah, right. He's very diplomatic. When he walks up and slaps the left in the face, he's very diplomatic about it. You know, it was just good. I mean, it's a kind gesture. But, you know, and what can the Democrats do about it? Hakeem Jeffries and, you know, the rest of the really anti-Semitic left, they just got to smile and stand up and applaud. Hey, we love him. He got to be. See, I mean, you know, this got to be hurtful to, you know, some of these folks because they clearly have anti-Jewish, anti-Israeli sentiments. They've expressed them publicly. So, you know, that's the reason when Netanyahu or somebody like that gets up to talk and, you know, you see this kind of diplomatic slap in the face. It's kind of a pleasing thing to me, you know. What do you think the outcome is going to be, though, now? Kamala has clearly expressed anti-Semitic views. She has ties to, you know, these anti-Semitic people in her party. What do you think is going to become of that? I mean, is she backing down?
Well, you know that I've been like one of the biggest supporters of Israel. We just, you know, like she's just gonna say what she needs to say when she needs to say it.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Well, you know, I think I'm glad in so many ways that this really huge chasm of and the division that has existed in the Democrat Party for so very, very long is now being exposed. I had wondered why it just keeps on going on, but you know what? I don't think it's going to happen any longer, especially after that attack. I think that, you know, people that think straight and look and see, look, this is evil, can finally say, look, we can't take this. This is intolerable. And
I definitely, by the way, Papa B, I'm in that camp of I think the United States needs to get out of everybody's business. But it's frustrating to see it all comes out in the middle of a war. But it would be nice if the United States wasn't playing both sides of this like we have for way too long. And I think it's prolonged an actual equilibrium that would make everybody better off, a peace that would actually last. But I mean, we'll see where this goes. I do wonder what is taking so long. And I think the longer Israel's bogged down in Gaza, there is potential for worse problems.
Well, I mean, they're being funded by Iran and other, parties. So as long as the funding is there, as long as there are people who do bad things, and that's really that's the Achilles heel of the libertarian thinking. I mean, yeah, it's idealistic. Hey, let's just get out of everything. I wish that could be so, but we live in a fallen world, and unless there are good guys to stop bad guys, that's a pipe dream. It ain't never going to happen. So you got to have a sheriff.
I'm not even saying the libertarian point of view. I'm thinking more of a realist foreign policy, because I think the more neoconservative wing said, not only do we need to take out Saddam, but, doing that in Iraq will create another king like we have in Jordan, and it'll be even safer for Israel. And it obviously didn't work out that way. And so I think the being very quick on the draw, too, leads to a lot of problems and just perpetuates them more. I would like to see a situation where Israel, without any doubts, could essentially handle themselves, and they're pretty close to that already.
Well, it's a delicate balance, but you got to agree with one thing. That when it came to Japan, we changed them radically. We changed the country. When it came to Germany, we cut both those countries a new one. Existential. Existential. So sometimes it takes that. I'm sorry to say that. I don't wish it so. I wish it weren't so in this world. I certainly don't want anybody to be hurt. And after a while, you got to realize, there are some things that we just cannot tolerate. They're intolerable. And what happened? What was October 6th? Is that what it was? October
7th, yeah.
Well, that is intolerable.
Oh, yeah.
You can't take that. Not anybody in the world can take that. And so whatever it takes to radically change that kind of thing from going on has to be done. That's just the bottom line. So anyway, all right. Enjoying the show, and I'm glad you played that.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Thank you, Papa B. 272-9228. That's 272-9228. Well, let's see who's calling in here. Line 1, you're on the air. Who's this?
This is Jean, Joey. I have been trying to get you.
Mm-hmm.
How's Miss Lucy doing?
She's wonderful. Got a whole batch of photos that were just sent my way this morning.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good these days. Life's all right on a personal basis.
All right. I was just checking on you.
Well, I appreciate it, Gene.
Love you, darling. Bye-bye.
272-9228. Okay, so the speech is over in that regard. So let's go to the tape that was happening earlier this morning. And that's Director Wray being asked by Jim Jordan a few questions. What's the latest with investigating this assassination attempt? Let's listen in together. Oh, come on. Really? He said, let's listen in together, but apparently it's not working. Let me refresh it. Maybe this thing will work. Here we go.
Director, let me go back to where Mr. Bishop was. Tell me about the drone. You act like you wanted to fill us in on that. Fill us in.
So we have recovered a drone that the shooter appears to have used. It's being exploited and analyzed by the FBI lab. The drone was recovered in his vehicle. So at the time of the shooting, the drone was in his vehicle with the controller. In addition, our investigation has uncovered.
Do you know what time of day he flew it, and if he flew it on the day of the shot?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in addition, it appears that around 3:50 p.m., 4 o'clock in that window, on the day of the shooting, that the shooter was flying the drone around the area.
2 hours.
About 11 minutes. I want to be clear, but when I say the area, not over the stage and that part of the area itself, but I would say about 200 yards, give or take, away from that. We think, but we do not know. So again, this is one of these things that's qualified because of our ongoing review, that he was live streaming, viewing the footage from that, again, about 11 minutes in around the 3:50, 4 o'clock p.m. range.
2 hours before, he's flying a drone in the vicinity of the rally.
About 200 yards away, yes.
200 yards. Okay, that's important information. What about the bombs that we've heard about in the shooter's car?
So again, the FBI lab is exploiting those explosive devices. There were, we've recovered 3 devices, 2 in his vehicle and 1 back in his residence.
Are these what you would call, your experts would call, sophisticated operations, or this? I don't know. That's what I've been told by people who have some understanding of this area.
Yeah, I think it's. We've seen more sophisticated and less. I would say these are relatively, again, keyword relatively crude devices themselves, but they did have the ability to be detonated remotely. And so to that point, in addition to the 2 devices that we recovered out of his vehicle, there were receivers for those 2 explosive devices with the devices. And then on the shooter himself, when he was killed by law enforcement, he had a transmitter with him. Now, I do want to add one important point here, is that at the moment, it looks to us, again, ongoing review, and I can't say that too many times. At a moment, it looks like because of the on-off position on the receivers, that if he had tried to detonate those devices from the roof, it would not have worked. But that doesn't mean the explosives weren't dangerous.
And I'm sure we're going to get into all these subjects a little bit later as well. Tell us what you can about the encrypted platforms we've heard about.
So one of the things that we're drilling into hard with the shooter in an effort to try to learn more about his state of mind, his motive, his ideology, his context, everything else, is to look at all of his devices, any social media accounts he had, et cetera. And one of the things we've learned in finally getting into his phone, which was also a significant technical challenge from an encryption perspective, but in addition, once we got on the phone, it turned out he was using some encrypted messaging applications.
And again, the same question relative to the bombs. Was this pretty sophisticated, or is this the kind of the norm you see with folks like, similar situation? How would you describe
on this subject, I would say this has unfortunately now become very commonplace, and it's a real challenge for not just the FBI, but state and local law enforcement all over the state.
Tell me exactly the scope of, does the scope of your investigation include what I call that critical 5 minutes from when the 6:09, when this is based, I think, on information you've given to Congress, 6:09 when the shooter's identified on the roof, and 6:14 when President Trump is ultimately escorted off, and all that happens, the shots that take place in between there. Do you have access to the communications that were going on at the time in that critical 5 minutes?
So our investigation, when you say scope, our investigation includes that time frame, although focused again on the shooter himself.
Understand.
And his attack.
Now, as involved in that, he's obviously involved in that time frame.
Correct. And as part of that, as part of our focus, our investigation of the shooter and the attack, of course, we are interviewing law enforcement from the scene because those are some of the most significant witnesses, and we're obviously getting access to their materials and that kind of thing. And the Secret Service has been fully cooperative.
You have access to the communications that exist there?
That exact question, I don't, as I sit here at the moment, I don't know the exact answer to that question, but I know that Secret Service has been cooperative with us.
The Congress would like access to those communications as well. I mean, not just that 5 minutes, although I think that's the critical time frame. There's lots of communications we'd love to have access as well. I see my time is up, and they have called votes on the floor. I think there are about 6 minutes left in votes, so committee will.
So it sounds like they're collecting more, but how do you let this guy fly the drone around? Who exactly was he talking to? What was the motivation? Because he really seemed to know what he was doing. Like, you're doing reconnaissance, you're understanding the scene. You have a fairly sophisticated understanding of how to create bombs, how to create remote detonators. All of your comms are encrypted. So it's just some, 20-year-old kid who's, special ed version of Jason Bourne, or What the heck is going on here? And the amount of answers is not enough. You would think they would be much swifter in that regard. But here in the same hearing is Matt Gaetz going back and forth with Christopher Wray, director of the FBI. Let's listen in.
Information about the shooter. He was not in our holdings before the shooting.
No communication in any chat rooms, no CIs or confidential human sources have any interaction with?
No, we've run a thorough search for the subject through all of our holdings, and he was not in them anywhere.
Were there any FBI agents or informants present at the Trump rally in Butler?
Not to my knowledge.
And Mr. Jordan was talking to you about Iran. Were law enforcement resources diverted from the protection of President Trump to John Bolton as a consequence of concern that Mr. Bolton might have been the target of Iranian malign efforts?
That's really a Secret Service decision. I don't know the answer to that. That's really something they would know better. What I can tell you is that there are a number of individuals. You mentioned one who we've brought a case, a specific criminal case for the Iranians targeting for assassination. But how the
are you going to get that answer to us? Whether or not resources were diverted from Trump to Bolton? Is that just going to be part of your review?
I think that's going to be part of the reviews by the inspector general.
The inspector general for DHS, right?
Of DHS, right. and the outside panel.
And I think that's an important point because the Inspector General for DHS has really fallen out of favor with the administration because he's been pointing out all the problems on the border with Mayorkas and Biden, and we're always kind of worried that they're about to fire him, which would be a really bad idea now that this role that you've identified is so critical. Be a bad idea to fire the IG for DHS during the pendency of this, right, Mr. Director?
I don't think that would be a good idea.
I'm with you on that. So I want to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
How often do you brief President Biden?
You mean on this specific
No, just general
case?
No, in your role as FBI director.
I mean, I don't know that I could give you a number.
Is it like weekly, monthly, daily?
It's not at a regular cadence. There have been times when there have been months at a time when I haven't, and then there have been times when several days apart I have.
Okay.
It's always with other people.
The vice president, is she typically there?
Often has been.
Okay, so when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Right, but I mean the cognitive decline. I'm not saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
Good question.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing is not something that I've observed during my interactions with him.
I mean, we've had it observed so often that the ranking member and Mr. Schiff on this committee have said that he could no longer continue as a candidate. And so, since you're the FBI director, I was just sort of wondering, like, who's running the country? Like if something bad happened, you'd have to go brief President Biden about it right now? God forbid?
And on any number of occasions, I have briefed the president, and as I said, those briefings have all been uneventful and unremarkable.
Oh, I can imagine them being uneventful. But in the work where the vice president's also present, like you say, there's like more than half the time there's these briefings, she's there too?
I don't know if I'd said more than half the time. Certainly, there have been times where she's been present. There have been other times where she hasn't.
I take you at your word when you say this is the most complicated threat environment you've ever observed over a long career in law enforcement. And I'm just kind of wondering, with this assassination attempt, with the invasion at our border, with all the Hamas that have been let in that you've talked about and briefed about, like, is Biden up to it? And if he's not up to it, and you're a guy who's been regularly briefing him, like who's been in on this conspiracy to hide the real Joe Biden from all of us for years? It never occurred to you that this guy wasn't up to it in all these briefings you did?
As I said, my briefings with the president have all been completely fine.
Were they between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
He's asked questions. There hasn't been anything of note in the area that you're talking about.
Yeah, did you ever have to brief him before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m.? We hear those are his good hours.
I certainly times that I have briefed have included outside those hours.
Right. Okay. I just, I think the American people want to know how we got to this point with someone who's so diminished his own party has basically put him out to pasture. And since you had close proximity and the vice president had close proximity, I'm just kind of wondering if you were being straight with all of us about how things were going with him. I guess we'll have to figure that out.
You can count on me to be straight with you, sir.
We'll see.
Wow. Oh, we got a little tight there for a second. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, bro, can you hear me?
Hey, Randall. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going good. A while ago when you was talking about I was about to call in and ask had he been involved with the FBI at all, and
he just said no there in that interview.
Yeah, he just pretty much said no. But does that lead back to the Parkland shooter back in Florida? How they let so much about him give out that they done it up a different way. I know.
Or it could be if you're suggesting it was the government involved or interacted with this kid, it could have been somebody who's not FBI. They've got a lot of different, let's just say, assets.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're right. But it seems like if you used to, you could always go back and see where they interacted.
He was on our radar. Yeah, right. That's the common thing.
But this time it's like, no, we had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's automatically the opposite this time. I was wondering see what you was kind of wondering about that. But I see what you're saying.
It's just still a huge blind spot. Like, I mean, Ray, the tone of this particular hearing was a little better than past ones because of, I think, how serious the issue is. But we still are blind to what really happened, especially what motivated the shooter. And I still have not really heard a great wrap up of what exactly happened in terms of the failures. How did you fail to secure these things? From everything we're finding out, it just creates more questions. So I'm sure they'll keep being asked.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. It was good to talk to you this morning. This evening.
Thanks, Ren. Appreciate it, man. 272-9228. If you want to hop in, this part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And so, folks, it's in the name. All Pro can help you out with that HVAC system, especially if you hadn't gotten a basic checkup or you just need some maintenance done. In the heat of an Alabama summer, you need to get that done. All Pro has your back in that regard, or it could be time for a new HVAC system. You know, it can only last so long. Like if you're in a 20, 30-year-old home and you haven't had any replacements before then, it might be time for you to entertain, well, a new system. And probably a system that's going to save you money over the long haul in terms of that power bill. Or if you are hoping to keep the power on, keep the lights on, they can also install Generac generators. You know, with storms rolling through, wouldn't it be nice that you have no worry at all that you're going to lose power inside the home, especially if you're relying on things like certain medical devices, you need to keep them on. Why not go with a Generac generator? All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical has your back in that regard as well. So check them out today. allproheatingair.com is their website. That's allproheatingair.com. Or you can always call them to learn more at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. And be sure to tell them that you heard about him here from that Joey fella on the radio.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-5612. 3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, this is Ray Bowles of Prattville Carpet. And since we've been advertising on Blue Water, our sales have increased dramatically. Blue Water has a large listening audience that is very faithful to their advertisers, and we greatly appreciate that. If you're thinking about advertising for your business, I would highly recommend Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather. Well, hi, everybody. This current weather pattern wind will be around probably at least through the weekend. Very little day-to-day change with highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows at night in the lower 70s, and a generous supply of showers and thunderstorms each day lighting up the radar screen, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, some producing some very heavy downpours, gusty winds, and also some intense lightning as well. And even down on the coast, the elevated rain chances will continue. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with help from Capital Tractor. Wet Bobo here. Don't miss our Buy a Mower, Get a Blower sale going on now. Buy any Kubota mower on our lot and get a Stihl handheld blower absolutely free. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It is coming down. Rain is coming down outside. Oh, there's Rashida Tlaib in the middle of Netanyahu's speech. She was there holding up a sign. The black background, white bold letters says war criminal. All right. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Now, earlier, I talked about how, I'm worried that with all these wars in their own areas continuing to percolate, does this become something wider? That should, I think, be the concern. That if you can't keep these things contained, it gets to a point where nobody really knows what's going to happen next. Well, there are recent breakthroughs where it looks like the Ukrainians want to talk peace. But I don't think the American foreign policy establishment actually wants that at this point. But it seems the Ukrainians are sort of hoping for something. I believe it was the Chinese delegation, the Chinese foreign minister with the Ukrainians, where the Ukrainians, one of their representatives, is saying, hey, we are looking to actually get a peace deal done. But after one call with Trump, Ukraine's top diplomat has signaled readiness to resume negotiations with Russia. Russia might have too strong of a hand to actually want to sit down and negotiate. We'll see. But during a meeting with his Chinese counterpart, the foreign minister there says Kyiv is ready to engage with Moscow when it is ready to negotiate in good faith. So, it's a small overture, but will it actually lead to something? I do not know. Another report I just haven't gotten to yet today, E.J. Intoni, he's on Fox Business often, works with Peter St. Onge. She says, looks like job growth for quarter 4 of 2023 was wildly overestimated. Business Employment Dynamics report shows a net employment gain of 344,000 private jobs, while the monthly job reports from that time showed non-farm payrolls jumping 637,000. So almost half the jobs are fake? Yep, there's a lot that's fake about our world right now. A lot that's fake. Let's go to the phones. Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
What's going on, my friend?
Hey, Duke, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm enjoying things. Just hope it don't storm today. We're getting rain every day, look like.
Yeah, it's coming down. I'm glad the grass got cut today.
Yeah, man, I read an article, man, where Steve Bama's ball fall apart if this happened here. Nick Saban for the vice president for Miss Harris. Have you read that one? You read that one, man?
No, that's pretty good, though. Damn, they flipped Alabama blue. How?
Oh, man, hey. Oh, Nick was enjoying that party, boy. Oh, man, all the Alabama fans, they throw away all the Saban stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw that a while ago for real, though. I say I got to mess with Joe about that one.
No, that's nuts. I mean, it won't happen, but if it did, to that I say War Eagle.
Oh, man, everybody all right, man? Nobody been throwing themselves in front of moving cars and nothing like that, have you?
No, right? And it's been a fairly low-key day, though. I mean, Netanyahu's speech isn't exactly, before the Congress isn't exactly low-key. But in terms of the show, it's been just sort of a low-key day. Did you see the controversy that was out there on social media about one of my arch nemesis, Brian Kilmeade?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, Brian Kilmeade, of course, he's a host on Fox and Friends in the morning, and they're talking about Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are they seriously going to make me defend Kilmeade? I don't like the guy, but I also, like truth. So I'm going to play the clip and then tell you what the controversy is. But here's the actual clip where Kilmeade says something about Kamala Harris. First, it starts off with a clip from Harris.
Why didn't you show up? The most recent decision, already you got a question. She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority, like she can't get out of that. So that's her decision. And
so he said she would rather address a sorority, a college sorority. There are folks online. There are folks online, Duke, saying he said colored sorority.
Colored sorority.
Yeah, and like I listened to it, I'm like, no, he said college, but like really, like it's trending all over the place. Like seriously, oh my god.
I don't like that man anyway.
Yeah, I don't like Kilmeade either, but I'm like, he didn't say.
No, I don't like the guy. What's his name? Netanyahu.
Netanyahu, you don't like him?
I don't care for him.
What's why don't you like him?
I never cared anything for him. I don't trust him. No. Nope.
Okay.
Because I've been questioning a lot of things since this war been going on.
I would like to know how
All this for
their
politics,
security
man.
failure,
It's
like,
politics.
sure, but like how was that security failure on October 7th even possible with the amount of technology and money that is spent on defense in Israel? So it's just, we don't know yet. Again, another one of those, we just don't know yet. It's interesting how that works.
Where's my boy Eddie?
I don't know. He need to take the day off or something.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had set him in the corner and tied him up or something. Oh, yeah.
No, I would never do something like that. I'm not really into that anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I ain't got much. I just thought about it. I read the article a while ago. I just sitting there.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, man. I said, man, that'd be interesting right there.
I mean, are you really excited for Kamala? I know you don't really like any politicians.
I just want to see a good, good match, good battle,
Yeah.
Call each other a few names, and here and there.
I just don't see it because I'll tell you, Duke, I did kind of my research last night, reminding myself, where did Kamala Harris come from? And if you remember, like, Obama called her the best looking attorney general in the nation. And then it was Obama really helping her in her run for Senate. And all these folks were saying she's the female Barack Obama. And as she runs for president in 2020 as the female Barack Obama and has got all this, remember she called Joe, like, you celebrated segregationists and I was that little girl that you didn't want busing and all that. Like,
right. But
and then she just kind of fell apart. So I kind of go, that's the same person. And she's been around, and it hasn't exactly been impressive as vice president. Her numbers aren't great. So
and the thing about it, I'm hearing all these people yesterday saying black folks just run to somebody because they're black. That's a lie. Hell, we had men in the past that ran. Jesse Jackson ran. And we didn't fool with him. We didn't fool with what's his name, Al Sharpton, and a lot of more cats that ran over the years. Black folks don't do that crap. I don't know where they get this mess from. But here's the thing: is that we do now. Since society over the years hadn't allowed us or chose one of us, we do get excited when we get in there every once in a while. We get a little bit excited, but I'm not going to vote for her because she's black, because I got a big problem with what's went on in there since she's been in there and Biden's been in there now. Right. This crap about the athletes, the males playing women's sports and all that crap, going to women, you know the drill, going in women wrestling and all that different crap. I don't believe in all this crap, so there's a lot of things I don't believe in. But versus Trump, I don't know. I got to read this Project 25 stuff.
Wait, Duke, are you telling me? Are you telling me that the right wingers at the Heritage Foundation are still right wingers? Like, whoa, that's shocking.
What I'm saying though, I don't want nothing to sneak in the back door on me. Saying, oh, y'all should have known that was coming down the road. Y'all, they had it out there so you can read it. So everybody need to read it and make up their own mind whether Trump is tied to it some kind of way or not. I don't know.
No, Trump's been actively distancing himself from it. So.
I know.
Yeah.
He done that in the past with other stuff. Okay, so, but don't try to insult me intelligent people. I come on here and clown and cut up a little bit, but don't try to play me stupid now. Like black folks just elect somebody or vote for somebody because they're black. I heard that man yesterday after me talking about, it's doing, yes, people are getting excited. Well, a lot of girls are excited because black person never gotten that far before. And to get us on the Republican side, hear them talking about Trump is the biggest leader, talking about we're gonna get the blacks to vote for him. But you're not setting an example. You're not electing people like your Tim Scott and Donaldson and other people that let me know that you're for real about dealing with black folks. Put some of us in office every once in a while on the Republican side so I can get a feel that, hey, they really are behind black folks. They really do want us in the party. But state of Alabama never elected a black person, have they? In the Republican Party.
I'm trying to think through it. No, I don't believe so. And I think that's going to change with generational turnover. Like, for instance, Byron Donalds being elected from Florida, I think he's only like 30-something. So I think as younger people step up to the plate and more of the voting population will age out.
But Tim Tim Scott, Tim Scott, he was almost sure he had that spot, man. I saw him every time I turned the TV on.
Oh, no, Fox News and Tim Scott's corporate backers in the donor class thought Tim Scott might get it. I've never been. I think Tim Scott's a nice enough guy. I think Tim Scott's got some good ideas that I agree with, and in terms of economic policy. But Tim Scott never gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling like, oh man, that's the guy, that's a leader right there. So I never thought it was going to be him.
You know, Trump might find a spot in there like he found a spot for, what's the guy name, the doctor? What's the
Ben Carson? Yeah, Ben's old now, man, though. He's old.
But I'm using it for an example. See, this guy was a brain surgeon or something like that.
Neurosurgeon, oh yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, but instead of putting him over the health, Trump trying to get rid of the health stuff. But he found a place for him taking care of housing projects. You know, come on now. That wasn't a black job he talking about. I'm gonna be a mess. Let me get out. I don't want to get messy today.
Did you hear Biden yelling about that the other day? Vice President, that's a black job. Like, okay.
He could probably say he got him on the more coon on his side. See?
Oh, good God.
But
don't be saying stuff like that.
You know, hey, look at here though. See, you don't say what I want to say because I can still get away with it, see? Because I'm black, see? Somebody gonna call him behind me and say, see what Duke says?
Yeah.
Talk about the watermelons and all that. Yeah,
no.
Watermelons. Yeah.
Shut up. Just shut up while you're talking to me. I appreciate it, dude.
All right, man. But anyway, go Saban, roll Tide, Saban. All right, man.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Saban. Yeah, I swear, if that guy wanted any political office in Alabama, I think it would be his easily for the taking. Like, maybe some folks could go to work on him, but I got a feeling that, Nick Saban could have any job he wanted. Again, that number is 272-9228. Let's hit a quick break here. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
It's Johnny from Sinclair's on Bond Road. We've been in business almost 30 years.
Sinclair's East, Juanette Taylor.
I think if you hadn't tried us, you should give us a try. We've got a great menu, offered anything from chicken fingers, wings, salads, fajitas. At lunchtime, we do great country lunch with different vegetables and different meats every day.
Sinclair's, where you get great sandwiches and our daily meat at 3 special at lunch, to great pasta, chicken, steaks, and seafood for dinner.
Our most popular items are, we got a soup called she crab soup, which is extremely popular. We've got a bunch of pasta dishes, which people love. Mediterranean chicken is my favorite.
Sinclair's.
We do live music, light stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe 3-piece bands or 4-piece bands.
Come and see why Sinclair's has seen lesser restaurants come and go over the years. Johnny Sullivan Sinclair's, at the corner of Vaughn and Taylor. Find them on Facebook at Sinclair's East. Google search Sinclair's Restaurant. Sinclair's.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When you have the opportunity to go for gold, take it. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is at Lexus of Montgomery. Drive the new IS300, just $396 a month. New Lexus ES350, only $473 a month. At Lexus of Montgomery, everybody wins. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Number 5130706. 4,999 due at signing. Number U1842006. 5,999 due at signing. 5,000 miles per year. 36 months. Plus tax, tag, title, and 995 fee. Offer expires 7/31/24.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments here of the show. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just with Terry's desk, trying to figure out what I can do to him while he's gone. Any suggestions?
You could super glue something. I don't know.
I was thinking about super gluing his phone, but then I had to buy him a new one, so I scratched that idea. What if I just super glue like one key on his keyboard?
Right, yeah. Something subtle where one of the days he's going to be like, what the heck is that right there?
I remember years ago the girls came up here because I always used to play practical jokes on them, and they came and broke into my computer, and every time I tried to send an email and I hit a certain word like "and," it would change to a whole nother sentence. And I was like, what? It took me days to figure out that they had broken into the store, stole my keys, come in and broke into my computer and did that to me. I was never so proud of them in all my life.
Beaming with pride, indeed.
I trained them good. But if y'all need a floor, call us, 285-8117. You'll be beaming with pride when you get your new floors down from Prattville Carpet.
Again, that number, 285-8117, and be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with that Joey fella.
All right, y'all have a great afternoon.
Appreciate it, Ray. Oh, what did we learn today? Yeah, Brian killed me. Don't make me defend the guy, but he didn't, like, throw out some old-timey word, all right? Come on. Well, we learned that Bibi Netanyahu knows how to give a speech, and that other than a few folks who don't like him in the Congress, most folks were standing and applauding on their feet as mayhem happened outside of the Capitol. We went over how Axios was caught in an obvious lie. You know, Axios is supposed to be the rebranded regime media, you know, really talented journalists that are looking into things. They came out and said Republicans are creating some conspiracy that Kamala Harris was the border czar. That was never her title. And of course, folks are quoting that right next to a screen capture of Axios calling her Biden's border czar. So the rebranding efforts in many ways aren't going all that well. That was still more questions than answers, even after Director Wray testified for the Congress on the shooter, the assassin that wanted to take out Donald Trump. Still not very clear what the 20-year-old's motivation was. So, and they're really trying to make Kamala happen, folks. She is grassroots from the bottom up. The same folks that told you Joe Biden is sharp as a tack, Kamala Harris got this nomination from the grassroots. We reached out to all the grassroots in 48 hours. Yeah, some pathetic liars. And I don't think it's going to work very well. In fact, I'm not convinced Kamala is actually the person. I got a feeling she is so bad at this as a candidate, she could easily crash and burn before the convention. Sometimes you long for the right person to represent the team, to represent the system, and you just don't have the talent there. Like, I'm sorry, Kamala Harris is not the female Barack Obama, and everybody knows it. Obama could actually give a speech. He could actually hold his own in a press conference. Kamala, she is, I don't think, it for the Democrats, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe we'll have to eat crow or whatever that means these days. And today is National Tequila Day. Maybe I should have taken a tequila shot to begin the show. That could have been deeply interesting. I also learned today that J.D. Vance is the first party nominee with a beard. in 75 years. So who was it? I believe it was Dewey. Yeah, when J.D. Vance took the stage of the Republican convention Wednesday night to officially accept the vice presidential nomination, he did so with a dark blue suit and an ocean blue tie. A boy from Middletown, Ohio, as his wife Usha said in her introduction, who had become a powerful example of the American dream, not to mention the first millennial on a major party ticket. He looked the part except for one thing, one unmistakable detail that, in the style of his running mate Donald J. Trump, not only upended modern political wisdom but broke a long-standing political taboo: his beard. The last bearded man elected president of the United States was Benjamin Harrison in 1888. The last president with any facial hair whatsoever was William Howard Taft, elected in 1908. The last vice president with a mustache was Charles Curtis, who was Herbert Hoover's Veep. And the last major party candidate to try to break that clean-shaven streak was Thomas E. Dewey, who had a dapper little caterpillar on his upper lip and ran unsuccessfully for the highest office in 1944 and 1948. By the way, all these folks who say, history, this is historic, and Joe Biden's historic, and most folks, we're not going to be remembered, including even these folks who become vice president. How many of you knew the name Charles Curtis? Herbert Hoover was a fairly historic president. I mean, in a bad way. Like, he's known, his name is Mud in many ways. But how many of you knew his vice president? And you might even know the name of a president, but do you really remember much about him and what they actually did even just 100 years ago? Can you imagine in 200 years from now, 300, a millennia from now, how much is going to be remembered? And who cares? You won't be around. It just seems like a silly metric. We treat history like it's our new god or something, and it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. But the problem with beards is facial hair has often been seen as suspicious. Facial hair hides something, maybe something even more telling than a weak chin. It suggests subterfuge. Neatly trimmed, it has been associated with the demon Mephistopheles, who was often pictured with a goatee, and Dracula. When left unchecked, it recalls rebels like Fidel Castro and the hippies. Big issues that we're covering here. So we'll see. I think more and more the beard's coming back, and I like the beard. I think the beard plays. I think Ted Cruz would have done much better if the man had had a beard. There's something that just, it's a little, I think it's more honest, actually. People say it's suspicious. It's like, no, that's what grows on your face. Let's see how you handle it. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully Eddie and others will be joining tomorrow. But y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Current news, I'm John Scott. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu trying to bolster U.S. support for his country's fight against Hamas and other Iran-backed terrorists in a speech before Congress. He did so before many standing ovations. More than 50 Democratic lawmakers boycotted his appearance, and